Bobby, aka Anarcha Media here, and recently Dave Chappelle gave a comment that I would like to address. I res- and it went something like this. I resent that the Republican Party ran on trans jokes and weaponized them. That's not what I was doing. Yeah, yeah. This needs this needs to be parsed. This needs to be confronted. This needs to be called out for what it is. This needs to be called out for what it is, which is a lack of accountability and a disappointing example, yet again, of the liberal left's shallow, low, and convenience-based allyship. And yeah, like, Dave, your trans jokes, as you called them, were always weaponized. Whether you realized it or not, they were always weaponized. And you wielded them as weapons deliberately. You straight up said, "I am on Team Turf." You defended J.K. Rowling, a woman who could have used her money to cure cancer, but chose instead to use it to persecute trans youth. She has on multiple occasions dead named trans youth. She has denied the Holocaust. She has actively, deliberately funded harm to not only trans communities, but the Jewish community the world over, the black community, which you are part of, the Muslim community, which you are part of, and as a black man and as a Muslim man who converted from Protestant Christianity, Dave, you should, of all people, should understand that hate is not always explicit. It is not always direct. Racism is not just the hard R N word. It often comes in more insidious forms, such as Jim Crow, such as separate but equal, such as implying that the Civil Rights Act, or outright stating that the Civil Rights Act was the greatest mistake in American history. And what does that imply about slavery, right? It's horrible to think about, isn't it? Well, now, Dave, you should have some idea of how trans people and disabled people feel nearly every fucking day in this country. Where our benefits are constantly under question and scrutiny from the federal and state government every single day. Every single day, the question is asked, well, are you really trans, or are you just gender confused? Are you really autistic enough to need these services? Dave, you are a middle-class black man. You are a comedian. You are a stand-up comic. You for years coasted for MAGA. You for years played deliberately into alt-right archetypes and stereotypes and stigmas of marginalized communities, not just trans communities, but your fellow black people as well, Jewish people as well. And you acted as though you were some kind of hero of truth for doing it. And don't get me wrong, I am glad that you are there to put a light upon the more nuanced side of Islam. That is necessary, especially in a society as extraordinarily Islamophobic as ours. And I'm glad as well that you criticize Zionism, especially in a society where Zionism is insulated from criticism by nearly every institution, nearly every politician gets funding from AIPAC. I'm glad you're there to challenge that. However, there are different ways to challenge that than by playing into outdated and archaic anti-Semitic tropes. Bobby, aka Anarcha Media, liberty, equality, fraternity, goodbye.